Obviously, we all know Mahmoud Darwish, we all know Ghassan Kanafani, we all know Hindala, we all know all these people, but there are many Mahmoud Darwishes and Ghassan Kanafani that didn't get the chance to know that the potential that they have, that there's artists inside of them, because they got killed before even knowing they are artists. That's why it's important to celebrate art, to celebrate culture, it's important for the world to know our Palestinian food, to know our culture, to know our Dabke.
Plestia, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You are an embodiment of bravery. You are a proud, talented, very talented journalist and storyteller and a poet. And your journey was very, very interesting because you really changed how reporting happens in war zones. You used storytelling as a very, very interesting tool. And I want to ask you, for everyone who feel unheard, unpowerful, thinks that their voice can be heard, can't reach to the audience, to bigger population, how did you use these tools how can they use these tools to be able to share their voice?
What we all have in common as humans is our humanity, and every human has a story, a special story to tell. And I believe by telling our stories, we can foster communication between us and understand ourselves better. And really, there isn't a specific way, or there isn't like, oh, you should do 1, 2, 3 to tell your story. Everyone can tell their story the way they want and share their story the way they want. Me personally, when I was reporting in Gaza, it was very limited the way we can tell stories, the way we can film, the way we can report. We had many limitations and many violations, so we really didn't have a lot of options to how to tell the story. So I believe every person can tell his or her story depending on what options they have, depending on the way they feel comfortable and they feel they can express themselves. And it can be through writing, it can be like talking, videos. So it's different from a person to another.
So speaking from the heart and really say your human story.
Of course.
That's very beautiful. Okay. Despite the war, the terror, the displacements, Palestinians continue to give birth to new generation. And from the outside, this was usually questions like, this might be immature or not responsible, or why are we actually bringing children to the world? But this is very surface level. There is a very deeper psychological meaning to it. So since you have lived through this, can you share more about it?
That's a really good question and a really good point to touch base on. Many people wonder why every Palestinian family, why almost every Palestinian family, they have a lot of kids. Why do Palestinians keep giving birth? And I think the point is because Israel keeps killing us, so we keep giving birth. I once interviewed a lady, her son got killed by Israel, and she said, I'll bring another son. Can she replace her son? No. Is she celebrating the death of her son? Of course not. But the only way to make sense of the death and of martyrdom is to be resilient and to think of the future and to think like, how will we keep going? Israel wants to ethnically cleanse Palestinians, and Palestinians will continue giving birth and we will still exist. So Israel is trying to ethnically cleanse us and to erase us from the world, so our existence is a resistance. That's why Palestinian women keep giving birth.
That's a very, very emotional, deep message. Okay, so we spoke about how one way of the repulsion is the giving birth, but there's also the art. So the Dabke, the Palestinian Dabke, the performance, which is performed in the refugee camps during protests. Tell us more about the dance, what it means, because you don't typically expect a dance in a war zone, right? So tell us more about this.
First of all, I'm excited for you specifically to read my book. My book will be out in April, and I touched base on every single question you asked me.
Beautiful.
You'll find answers for literally all your questions in my introduction. So I wrote about that. I wrote about how many great artists the world has lost before even these artists knowing that they are artists. Obviously, we all know Mahmoud Darwish. We all know Ghassan Kanafani. We all know Hindala. We all know all these people. But there are many Mahmoud Darwishes and Ghassan Kanafani that didn't get the chance to know that the potential that they have, with that there's artists inside of them, because they got killed before even knowing they are artists. That's why it's important to celebrate art, to celebrate culture, it's important for the world to know our Palestinian food, to know our culture, to know our Dabke, to know that there is more to Palestine than just death and wars. There's actually a beautiful culture and history. And I feel like we Palestinian people, we always want to show that to the world. That's why, for example, I'm wearing tatris. That's why even amidst the genocide and the war, you'll find people doing the traditional Dabke dance. You'll find kids, like their toys, it got destroyed, it got bombed. They'll start playing with whatever they have. They'll start being creative and creating toys and games and I think that's a coping mechanism to try and make sense of everything that's happening around you, and to be resilient. Like Israel wants to kill us, we'll keep giving birth. Israel wants to kill our culture, we will keep showing the world what our culture is.
That's very, very beautiful. Thank you. And I'm so looking forward to read your book.
Thank you.
When is it coming out?
April. I'll get you a copy.
Amazing. Thank you. You're an embodiment of bravery. You're young for everything that you've been through. Can you tell me what bravery means to you? How do you see bravery?
For me, bravery is the Palestinian people, as cliche as this may sound. Like, what gives me hope the most, what gives me a reason, a purpose to wake up every day and to continue advocating for Palestine, for Palestinians, is really the people and the community, their spirit. There were like many days I was obviously so depressed because of everything that's happening, because of the genocide. Then I meet a random boy in the street, he offers me a biscuit, or like I see a lady who her house got destroyed, she lost her whole family, like Israel killed her family, and she's smiling. I'm like, if they all can be brave, if they all can smile, then so can I, and so can everyone else.
So we're living through all this with the hope and the smile and never giving up.
It's really the people at the end of the day.
Yeah, very nice. And what would you like to tell the next generation of Palestinians?
I hope that the next generation of Palestinians will witness a free Palestine, and that they will be the ones to tell us the story of the free Palestine.
That's very touching. We're all looking forward to this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. It was such a pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having me. And I really like the questions and the point that you touched based on, because usually people just talk about death. They talk about the injuries, and they forget that there's more to Palestine. There's more to Palestine than wars and genocides, and that we have a beautiful culture.
Agree. Thank you.
Thank you.